Warriors, we went through another historical week, some important, extremely important inflection points. So I wanted to do a weekly recap for everybody just to catch you up on Monday's broadcast. I talked about the potential of the cable reaching up towards the 119 level. Check it out Monday. We're not quite there. I talked about a breakdown and selling strength into the Fed and the NFP and the yen. And on Wednesday, brought up the fact that this descending triangle could take us down to 140. Huge move to the downside, which I correlated with the potential of a failing rally in yields, which is exactly what happened. We did not make new highs. And I'm not saying that, if the news had gone against me, we could have gone to 4.5 and then failed. But I felt this was an important top. I think there's plenty to it. I think that we could head all the way back down to a 3 handle into early next year. That should have a positive effect on everything. So that was also part of the dollar call. And you guys know that I've been, selling rallies, sold some more last week. Now we're approaching some real important levels. I don't know, it looks like we could get there. 104, I didn't think that we would get there this fast, but now the question becomes, is this the top? Very negative week, and or is this still a correction? Now, to me, this 104 level is really important. It goes back to the COVID high, talked about this, but really negative week here. So it may be time, if you're not, a dollar bear, even if you are a dollar bear, at this 118.5 level in cable, I'd be booking it. I would say the weakest structure on the recover has been Aussie, but we're right back against some old resistance now. But I guess people that doubted that the dollar could do this are now convinced. Talked about it being a crowded trade for a long time. There will be another bounce. It's just, where does it begin? I'm thinking there's a good possibility it begins by next week. Euro is at a very important level. This 103.50 level was, if you take it back on a monthly, that was a very important breakdown that we had at that 103.5. So we're right up against this right now. 2 great months in a row. But at this point, this is just the first wave up in Euro. So we're approaching resistance. You do not go broke taking profits if you are buying breaks in Euro. I was looking for, if we had a hot CPI, the reverse to happen, but that's then. So these binary events really shape everything that's going on. We had a huge move, breakout in gold. As long as we're trading above 678, the bull market's intact. Maybe we're going to make a move towards a 200-day at 1800. The only shift I'm seeing regarding precious metals is that we may be bottoming out here in the gold-silver ratio, which implies that gold is the preferred long and silver the preferred short. And the action in silver is a little bit suspect here. We're diverging in silver, unlike gold. We're not confirming these new highs. This 22 level is also a very significant pivot if you take it all the way back. So here we are back at resistance. Looks a lot like the euro at its major resistance. And actually, I've sold half of my silver mining position, holding still my gold miners, with looking for gold to outperform. So we'll see. There could be a tactical short setting up here in silver with this kind of divergence, and not just because of that, but because of the potential turn in the gold-silver ratio. The big story, although, is rates. Talked about an island bottom and TLT. Then we put in a higher low before the numbers. Bonds look pretty good to me. Look at that. So we have another gap from yesterday. I wouldn't be short bonds. And what do I want to wrap it up with? That's really the big story, was what happened in the dollar, what happened in rates. And this is really one of the hugest moves that we've had in the yen for a long time. Look what happened in the period of a couple days. Can look left, how many days were taken out. So looks like the yen can make a move towards the 130 level. And now it's much more difficult on a risk reward basis to get short. You have to wait for rallies. And, you know, maybe you get a rally back towards 143 or so to sell into. I think that what the 10-year did, and let's take a look at the weekly candle. Here's your day, very negative day. Here's your month, we have an inside month, and here's your weekly candle on a failing rally. Pretty vulnerable, and I think that will go to the 50-week moving average here, actually be under 3. So with everything being bad, with rates going up, we'll see what leads the pack with rates coming back down, in spite of the fact that the Fed will still raise rates in a few weeks. So good hunting. You know, bring the register. If you've been short the dollar, short the yen, put something in the bank before the weekend. Don't get FOMO in the metals here, especially in silver, since it's diverging. There may be better buying opportunities. And just like 1780 is an important level for gold, we're already $80 above the breakout. Breakout was 1680, the pivot, and a channel line. I have it anchored at the wedge at about 1800, and that's where the 50-week comes in at 1800. So there's a lot there. 1800 there on the gold, on the weekly, and the 200-day on the daily comes in at 1800. Everyone have a great weekend, and hope that we're helping here at TradeView Markets. We're sponsored by TradeGATEHub.com is sponsored by TradeView, so you could tell it's Friday with me too. So hope we're helping you and giving you an edge in these difficult markets. We've had a tremendous move in the last couple of weeks, and the world has changed. And as W.D. Gann said, if you don't learn how to change your mind, you won't have any change left. Have a great weekend, everybody. And don't just count your pips, count your blessings.